What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the What the Fun Show. Today we are reviewing Hocus Pocus 2. Yes, that's right, the new movie that came out to Disney Plus. And yeah, a well-anticipated sequel to a 1992 or three film, but yeah, 3. All right, so with me I have my cohorts, my gentlemen, my scholars, my friends. I got Joe. How you doing today, Joe?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Just kidding. I'm sick. If you can't hear that, I'm a little under the weather, but I wanted to be here because I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah, so if I do send the podcast to Joe, it will be probably short and sweet today. Justin, we have you here as well. How you doing?
The witches are back. Spooky season. We're here, ready for this sequel, long-awaited movie, and we're going to talk about it for sure.
Yes, we are. So, if you have not already listened to our Hocus Pocus review that came out a couple weeks ago, please stop what you're doing, go check out that review, and let us know what you thought of the original down in the comment section or in a podcast review. Speaking of all that stuff, if you're listening to us on a podcatcher of choice, please leave us a review there. Apple iTunes is the best place to do so. Apple Podcasts, please leave a 5-star review. Let us know how we're doing, or maybe even a 4-star review. We just want a review, please. That'd be great. And if you're on Spotify, on the mobile app only, you can leave a 5-star review there. If you are watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. And we would like you to like this video, comment down below what you thought of Hocus Pocus 2. It is spooky season at the What the Fun Show, so go check out all of our spooky season stuff. We have reviews of Halloween, the original 1978 film. If you're listening to us, there's probably a Halloween 2018 episode around the corner, or literally just released yesterday. I don't know which one. Who knows? It's out there. It will be out there, or it is out there already. Yeah. Anyway, spooky season is upon us, and we got more stuff coming, and me and Justin might actually throw in a Hellraiser review for the new one. So spooky season is upon us, gentlemen. Okay.
I think you meant Heck Razor. Family.
No. Heck
Razor.
Razor.
Yep, that's the one.
All right. Hocus Pocus 2, directed by Anne Fletcher, story by David Kirshner, Blake Harris, Jen D'Angelo, and the characters are based on some of the original characters from the original movie there, starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, reprising their roles as the witches respectively, Sam Richardson, Doug Jones, Whitney Peake, Belissa Escobedo, sorry if I'm butchering, Tony Hale, Hannah Waddingham, and music by John Debney. This is a release on Disney Plus. It did not come to theaters, so subscribe there if you want to watch it. Released on September 30th. Running time of 103 minutes. We don't really have the budget and the box office, the numbers, how much money they made in subscriptions, because that's the age that we live in now. So, all right, let's get into the spoiler-free review. Justin is our Hocus Pocus stan, so I'm going to go to your spoiler-free review first.
If you like witches, candy, Halloween, and kids, this is the movie for you. I'm trying to match shows from before. But with a little bit of spooky and a little bit of danger. Definitely good. Bringing back the characters from the original for the most part, minus a few, give or take a few. But they did a good job. I feel like they really strutted their stuff and showed what we could do kind of as a quick release to make fans happy.
Okay. Yeah. A little bit of fan service here and there, but a decent movie in the midst of it. I hear from Justin. Joe, I trust that your patent pending spoiler-free review is going to be even shorter today because of how sick you
are. So here is what we've got. We've got Hocus Pocus 2, and if you saw Hocus Pocus 1, you'll understand what Hocus Pocus 2 is about. There you go.
Wise words. From the man, the myth, the legend himself. Yeah, Hocus Pocus 2. I think it was a fun movie. It was fun. It was delightful in some areas. It was questionable in others, and I'll get into that. But overall, I don't think it hits the highs that the original does. But I still do think that it is a fun little comedy. I think that Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy did a phenomenal job reprising their roles. I think they are the best part of this movie, and it's not even close. So yeah, that's what I think about it. So let's get into the plot. Let's get into the nitty gritty, into the thick of it.
Well, after our spoiler-free warning, for sure.
Well, yeah.
We don't want to scare these people like that.
Yeah. Let's not scare them. So if you have not seen Hocus Pocus 2, consider this your official spoiler warning. Hey, you.
What the?
What are you doing?
Who, me?
Do you want to be spoiled? No? Well then.
Stop it. Get some help.
So you don't feel like this guy. Instead, let it be a surprise.
Oh, I like surprises.
So go watch the thing before you move on in the podcast, okay?
Alrighty then.
That was your spoiler-free review and your spoiler warning. So let's get into the plot, gentlemen. In 1653 Salem, a young Winifred Sanderson is banished from Salem by Reverend Trask after she defied the authority of the church by refusing to marry John Pritchett. Now, Joe, I just want a really quick answer. Yes or no? Would you marry John Pritchett?
No.
Okay. Justin, did you like this opening in 1965 or in 1653 Salem?
Yes, I did like the prequel to the original. Seeing the witches or the coven, the most powerful coven in the world, as children, was really interesting. Seeing them reprise the roles, even with these characters that are much, much younger, playing the part and the character to a T almost. And really showing those similarities between them and the actual Sanderson sisters that we know and love. Well done.
Yeah, I will second that. I think that those child actors did a very good job to bring in the essence of who, who Winifred is, who the other two are. Like it was really good. So Joe, did you like this? I'll ask you a little bit more about the beginning here. Did you like this introduction?
I did. I enjoyed it. I thought that Winifred's child actress did a great job. The other two I was definitely not enthralled with. I thought I could see they were acting. They didn't sell it for me. Winifred definitely did. Sarah and Mary is the other one, I think. But yeah, they didn't. I don't think their actresses did them justice.
Yeah, Mary and Sarah, I don't think they were the focus of that introduction. So I could see your point, but I think that it's good that you had Winifred, pulling out all the stops there as a child.
She killed it.
So
Absolutely.
I think Sarah did as well. Really praying that.
I'm on your side on that, Justin.
Yeah, I definitely think that Sarah's child actor did a really good job at portraying her character as well. It's kind of not the brightest, but comically timing wise, perfect.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, she was silly. She was good. I think she did a very good job. Okay. Rather than let her sisters, Mary and Sarah, be taken away from her, Winifred escapes with them to a nearby forbidden forest. Dun dun dun.
It's a Harry Potter.
There they make the acquaintance of Mother Witch, who gifts Winifred her magic book for her 16th birthday, but explicitly warns the sisters against casting a spell known as the Magicae Maxima, which makes the user all-powerful. Mother Witch also teaches the sisters to kill other children to keep their youthfulness. Yeah. This is still family-friendly, right, Justin?
Yeah, definitely family-friendly at this point. Nothing too bad. Mother Witch turns into leaves. Awesome. And
a bird. She's a bird.
Well, originally, and then
yeah.
into leaves. Pretty awesome.
So yeah, this is the intro. This is the introduction, Justin, of the book as well. You know, we see the famous book from the original movie, as well as obviously, yes, as well as this. Did you like the introduction of the book? I feel like the book was a little bit more of a character in this movie, which is what I liked.
Well, yeah, they definitely gave it feelings and thoughts and cares of its own, as if it was a character in the movie itself, because characterizing inanimate objects always makes it family friendly.
Yeah.
Anthropomorphizing.
Yes, technically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the book as a character. I thought it was really cool. A neat nod to the original, and then adding something new and fun in this one, making it actually be something important. I like that. I think that was a good addition to this movie.
So, Justin, with their newfound sort of powers and their book, the book, what does Winifred decide to do?
Oh, play tricks on the rest of the town. You know, all of Salem that have made fun of them or treated them unfairly, tried to make them marry people they don't want. Let's play pranks. And they cast their first spell as
a little bit more than pranks, in my opinion.
Well, you know, it was obviously the spider's doing, according to John Pritchett.
Clearly.
And fire ensues, storms. You know, things that are out of the ordinary, but obviously spiders can do that. Everyone knows spiders are pretty powerful. So,
yes.
Yeah. Just playing pranks for the most part.
Yeah. Another thing that we did gloss over in the outline is that you also have the introduction of Billy, the one character that Winifred shared a kiss with, and therefore they were lovers. So yeah, you have that introduction as well. Obviously, he plays a part later on and was also in the original movie. So it is now 2022, 29 years after the Sanderson sisters were resurrected by the Black Flame candle. Salem teenagers Becca and Izzy prepare to celebrate both Halloween and Becca's 16th birthday, but turn down a party invitation from their estranged friend Cassie Trask. So here's sort of the introduction of our new protagonists, and this is spoiler territory, so we will come to find out our new coven for probably, I would say, future films. And yeah, what did you think about the introduction of our new main characters?
I was okay with it. I definitely took on to them as if they were, you know, a new coven. I've watched, you know, The Craft and other movies like this that have female covens, and you know, this one really set at home for a kids movie. They did some stuff, you know, that was throughout the film. They did some stuff that was obviously out of the ordinary, but definitely stayed true to the magic kind of coven aspect of it, which I liked. And they weren't really too out of there, so it was easy for me to accept them as a coven for sure.
Mm-hmm. Joe, any thoughts on that?
Not any good ones.
So you didn't like the new coven, so to speak.
It was fine. Like the intros were good. Becca was good. The friend was good. The Trask relative, whatever generational relative was like. It was fine. I just they didn't give us anything about the characters really, except for the three used to be friends. One of them wasn't a friend because she went and got all popular. They kind of got an invite to her party, not really. I guess her boyfriend half invited them. But for the most part, like, there's no backstory at all to who these girls are, except for the not main character happens to be related, you know, 400 years later to Reverend Trask.
Well, we'll get to the backstory of specifically Becca later, because I do have issues with that in particular. But so let's get into that a little bit later. But one thing that I did want to mention here is that Cassie's boyfriend, I forget his name. I did not like that character. I thought it was too over the top, too silly. I don't like over silliness. That's not the right phrasing, but I don't like over silliness in an already silly movie. I don't know. I wish the slapstick, I wish that sort of comedy was kept within the Sanderson sisters. I don't know. Justin, what did you think of this character. I forget his name.
I was okay with this. He obviously had terrible acting, but it is based for kids. It's a family friendly movie. It did, I hate to say it, but it did shortly kind of feel like a Disney Channel movie.
Mike. I should have known his name. It's Mike.
Yeah. I was just gonna let him keep going. So I feel like it could have been a Disney Channel movie, honestly, by the end of it. But it did hold up for me anyway, as a reputable Hocus Pocus sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, first of all, let's be honest. I grew up with Disney Channel movies. Mm-hmm. Some of those are bangers, man. So this one adding to the fold of that, I'm totally okay with. Because I think you're right, Justin. This does sort of capture the spirit of what I remember of Disney Channel movies, and it does it really well. And so I 100% agree with you, Justin.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with him. He's got a lot of one-liners that are meant to kind of make a giggle. And he wasn't a main part of the story, so I was okay with it. If he was more of a quality character throughout each scene, that would have been different. But he was kind of just thrown in for a gag every so often, which I'm fine with.
I hear you. Okay, Becca and Izzy visit a magic shop, formerly the Sanderson Cottage, run by Gilbert, who gifts Becca a candle for their annual birthday ritual. This guy has some shady stuff going on. He knows that this candle, seemingly a black candle, is going to be lit that evening, and he's just maybe testing a theory. So Becca and Izzy light the candle and discover that it is another black flame candle that Gilbert actually reconstructed. And there is a full moon. The girls are both virgins. Family-friendly virgins.
Oh, yes.
The candle resurrects the Sanderson sisters once again.
I'd like to talk about this for a second, because this part here about the virginity or the virgin is something that was scoured as not family-friendly, but in the story of Hocus Pocus, apparently it is family-friendly because they answered the question of what is a virgin in this film, and that is someone who has never lit a candle before. So obviously, that makes the other film,
yes,
Hocus Pocus 1 and this one, that argument null. So, yes. I like how they threw that in there.
We'll ignore what that candle... never mind. Keep going.
Yeah. We're just going to ignore what that word actually means, apparently.
Never have lit a candle before.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, this, goes into the Forbidden Forest. They light the candle on the sacred ground, and the Sanderson sisters are resurrected, and they open up with a dance and song opener. They are back, and yeah, I do want to reiterate that these three witches are the best part of this movie. They really are. I think they did an awesome job reprising their roles. And yeah, they were what kept me watching the movie, basically. Joe, did you like the re-entrance of the Sanderson sisters?
No, I didn't. I'm not even gonna...
Didn't like the musical number?
No, I wish they would have come back on a little bit more serious of a note and then led into a musical number. Like, I don't mind the musical numbers. I know that's kind of part of it, and they did that in the first one, and it's fun even. I just didn't... I don't think I wanted that right when they came back. Like, the immediately... upon arrival in the woods, it's like, oh, we're gonna have a song and dance number. I'm like, I don't know, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, that didn't feel like the right way to do it. I wish they would have had a serious note so that we could... I mean, it would have changed the trajectory of the movie for me. Had they come in serious and then had the funny bits. I think I would have liked the movie a little bit more had it kept that sort of note. But you guys said it already. It's a made for TV style movie. It's a Disney Channel original style film, and that's what it ended up being for me.
I'm also going to push back slightly on that, and maybe Justin agrees, but they're supposed to be silly. Like, I don't know if like a more serious like introduction would have gone over well in my mind, because again, listeners, this is my first time seeing the original Hocus Pocus in the past couple weeks, and then obviously our first time watching this. But from what I gathered is that they're supposed to be silly, and I liked that introduction. I don't know, Justin, any thoughts on that?
So for Joe, I know the musical sense and the non-serious motive at the beginning is tough to get past, but they did cut off that musical rather quickly, and they even made a joke about it with the other lead characters of who are they singing for as they run away, because not everyone is into musicals, right? So let's just make it into a gag and cut it off short. Both of the songs in this film, which there are two, are not very long songs. There may be one or two verses at the most, and then they're done. So it's not a full Broadway production that you're gonna have to sit through there. Especially this first one, they cut it off very quickly. Sure, you get some lead camera angles right up in them to make sure that they're, the lead. They're the lead stars. So let's get them on the forefront of the camera and then push back with some comedy. That's what this movie's all about. That's what it's always been.
So the Sanderson sisters see the two girls, and they're like, "Hey, you resurrected us," and they're like, "Yeah, we wanted to meet you. Like, we're huge fans. We're actually trying to be witches ourselves, stuff like that." So the girls do manage to outwit the sisters in a local Walgreens. This whole thing, the whole shenanigans, I loved it. Yeah, Walgreens.
Even from entering the building, like the magic doors that open because you're powerful. And you see, obviously Winifred walks in as if she's strutting her stuff, but then you see Sarah and Mary just kind of struggle to get through, and you see Sarah jump through the door as if it's like hopscotch. It was great. And then of course the whole scene of let's trick these Sanderson sisters into believing you can buy children's souls in beauty products. Come on. It's great. It's that whole take on the technology that we weren't expecting. Sure, they could have done more technology stuff, but this was something that no one thought, hey, let's have them eat and drink beauty products.
Lotion and stuff. And so I thought it was a good bit. Joe even enjoyed it. I just think it's funny that they utilized the technology in the way that they did in this, because right after that, they do get outwitted by those by the two girls, and they end up escaping, but they're like, we need to ride, so they're gonna fly, and Winifred finds a broom and Sarah finds a Swiffer mop, just like the original movie, she had a mop. And Mary had Roombas.
Yeah. She had the modern vacuum.
The scariest thing ever. The scariest thing ever. Roombas.
It was so funny. Roombas. YouTube College Humor's Bad Man, if you want to know where that quote is from. So anyway, they are seeing not family friendly. That's true. They are seeing some things that they knew about from 1993. They kind of recollect it, but there is other stuff. Obviously, the sliding doors, the Roombas that are kind of coming into play here for the Sanderson sisters. But so we do come to find out that Gilbert tricked them into reviving the sisters. He actually orchestrated this whole thing, having seen them on Halloween back in 1993 and been taught how to make the candle by the book. So by book. I shouldn't say the book. The book's a character, so book. So the sisters catch up to the girls and see a campaign flyer belonging to Mayor Trask, who is a descendant of Reverend Trask's line. Mm-hmm. So they know the plan now is to cast the Magicae Maxima spell to eliminate Trask, because Trask is their villain to them, even though this descendant is like hundreds of years.
They hold grudges. Nothing's wrong with holding grudges.
He's the nicest guy ever.
Yeah, he's like, I just want a caramel apple. That's all he wanted.
Yeah, he wants to give the town a great time. He's throwing Halloween parties, and he wants a caramel apple. What a great guy.
So yeah, Magicae Maxima, the spell needs a bunch of stuff, so the sisters send Gilbert on his way to go collect the other ingredients. So, Justin, let's talk about Gilbert. What did you think of this introduction to sort of, I would say like an Igor type character, like, you know, helping out the masterminds?
I was okay with Gilbert. I kind of got a sense of his turn of character at the first scene when you first get that intro with him telling the story of the Sanderson sisters. I kind of got that feeling that he was going to be a turning point in the story for sure. He's okay for me. I'm okay with him kind of like not even being an Igor, because Igor wasn't threatened with his life really. This character was basically told, if you don't do this, you will die. So he was forced under penalty of death to help the Sanderson sisters
Yeah.
collect the pieces and then meet them at the graveyard or at the Forbidden Woods.
So while this is happening, they do trap Izzy and Becca in the basement, and you know, they leave to hunt down Trask, whose blood is what is needed to complete the spell. So Gilbert is getting everything else. They are tasked with getting Trask's blood. See what I did there? Okay. The girls end up escaping because they did have some type of leaf that they set on fire, and that particular leaf is able to take down spells or
remove curses.
What's the word?
So
remove curses? There we go.
So in
Go ahead,
real
Justin.
life, it's actually the roots that are said to remove the curses. But for this aspect, for the kids, it's the leaves. But yes,
Okay.
azalea leaves is the way it goes.
Burning leaves.
Yes.
Yep. Family friendly. All right. So, Joe, the girls do end up escaping and head to the Trask house to warn the mayor, while the sisters find their way to the town's Halloween carnival and enchant the citizens to help them find the mayor as well. What this outline does not talk about is that Cassie Trask is actually throwing a party, and the conflict that comes up, Joe, is that Izzy and Becca need Mayor Trask to go back to the house and stop this party. So they tell on what was their former best friend.
Yeah, well, so we skipped over a few things. First thing, when they're in the basement, that's the first or second glimpse that we have at Becca's ability now that she's 16, which they forgot to mention in our outline. But
Yes.
she is the reason that it works, because she has power and she is the one who lights the fire and breaks the curse. Then they send Mayor Trask home because they don't want him to be found by the sisters. So like, hey, to get him out of here, let's just betray our best friend and tell her dad that she's throwing a party that he's not supposed to know about. So
Exactly.
he's in line for his caramel apple, and they tell on their friend, and he has to leave his spot in line and then go ground his daughter. Natural consequences.
It also skipped over the second musical number here, where the Sanderson sisters are walking through the fair, and they are told, "You must be looking for the stage." So they're like, "Always."
No, it didn't. It
Right.
didn't, because that's how they enchant the citizens. I was getting to that.
Does it say that? I didn't read that.
Yeah,
The
it
very
does. It
next
says
part.
carnival, and so they go to the carnival and they enchant the citizens to help them find the mayor. And Justin, the way that they enchant them.
Yeah, that's all it says. I'm like, it doesn't even say they sing a musical number at the So they get up on stage, and there's actually a contest of Sanderson sisters lookalikes on the stage, which is comical. And they're just kind of like relaying thoughts to the other parties involved, and they end up not winning the contest. And then, of course, Winifred takes the microphone and decides, now's my time to shine. Takes the award and throws it at the person who's dressed like the Reverend on the side, the judge, knocking him out cold or putting him
Oh,
to
that was
sleep.
funny.
Yeah. Funny that they picked that character to do it too. And then they begin to sing a song one way or another, but with witchy lyrics switched out. And at first, I was like, no, why this song? Why now? And then the backup vocals and the like witchy vocals hit, and I was like, this has got a good bump to it. I can vibe with this.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Joe, you look skeptical.
I hate that song, so that's just me on that one. I thought it worked for the movie, but I'm not a fan of that song.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Song's not a fan of you.
So all of the people
It's
at the
fair.
fair that are watching turn into zombies pretty much, and their job, instead of dancing until they fall asleep this time, to keep dancing and singing until they find the mayor. Not bring the mayor to the sisters, just find him, I guess.
Yep, just find him. And all of this is happening. Gilbert digs up Billy Butcherson, who has been awake but entombed since 1993.
He said,
Gilbert needs...
I wasn't put back to sleep properly. So
Yeah.
technically he was sleeping, not dead.
Yeah.
Family friendly.
Yeah, he was just sleeping. Gilbert needs Billy's head for the spell, but tricks Billy into helping him collect the other ingredients first. So, very good job, Igor. Gilbert. The girls reunite with Cassie and manage to trap the sisters within a salt circle in Cassie's garage before Mayor Trask returns home. So this is where, Joe, I think that I would agree with the serious note. So the Sanderson sisters, they track them down. They go to Cassie's house, and they break in. They have this incredibly funny bit with Siri on one of the Apple Homes or whatever devices that they
the
have.
Apple HomePod.
Yeah. So that was a really cool, funny bit. But I wish that here they added a little bit of a horror element to it and just like had them actually sort of like search for them in the house. But instead it was just like they broke in and then they went straight to the garage, knowing that that's where the kids were. And it kind of felt rushed. I wish there was a little bit more of like a spooky side to this scene, even though I understand this is a family movie, a kid's movie ultimately, but it would have been nice to add a little bit of spooky touch there.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Low key, you did just admit it is a family friendly movie. I appreciate that.
This
Yeah,
one,
I would say this one
definitely is.
This one definitely is. The original? Heck no. Okay, so anyway, they do find him. They trap him in a salt circle. The three teenagers do make amends with one another. The reunion is interrupted with the sisters escaping the circle, and the way that they escaped the circle was so funny. I loved this part. Justin, how did they escape?
So they were trapped there. We glazed over the fact that the mayor acted the part, and at that point I was like, wow,
Oh,
this is
good.
actually the Reverend. Like he can play that part perfect. He's like, oh, you're the Sanderson sisters, so I'll be the Reverend, and he's just like, I hate the Sanderson sisters, and it was like perfect. Looked just like it. I could see it. The timeline, the genealogy, perfect. But
yeah.
here comes to save the day, the Roombas,
Mighty Mouse?
because they hate mess apparently, and
that was so funny.
they just clean out the circle of salt and allow the sisters to get out. It was funny, yeah.
Yeah, it was such a good funny bit. Like they had these Roombas enchanted. They already played the bit earlier on when they're like trying to Roomba up some like Cheetos, I believe, at the carnival or something.
Which popcorn?
Yeah, popcorn. And it was just we just knew that they like. What's funny is that like although they had already set it up, I still didn't predict that that's how they would escape that salt circle, which was funny.
I totally called it.
Yeah,
I
Joe
knew
probably
instantly.
called it. Anyway, it was funny. So
As soon as the girls left, I was like, oh, the Roombas are about to show up. And what happens? Not 2 minutes later, the Roomba show up. I'm like, yep, thought so.
yeah, and it was funny. So
It worked. It worked for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the three teenagers make amends, but the sisters do escape and kidnap Cassie to use her blood instead, because Cassie is in that line of their greatest enemy and foe.
Let's talk about this like jump scare here, pretty much. When they're standing next to the bus, and they're talking and they're having this heart to heart about how they feel about each other and how their mom feels about them, and then all of a sudden you just get Winifred flying in at 50 miles per hour, grabbing Cassie and flying.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's terrifying. Like, you weren't expecting that. I wasn't expecting her to come on a broom just to take her. You know, that was quick.
I don't know if I was expecting it.
It was a possibility, but
man, like Cassie's back probably hurts after that whiplash.
and the fall at the end.
Yeah. So Becca and Izzy follow them to the Forbidden Forest, where Gilbert has already assembled the ingredients and soon discover that Becca is also a witch. So there's already been rumblings of it. We've already talked about here. And Joe, this is where I 100% agree with you. This is not earned. Like, I really wish there was a little bit more backstory as to why Becca has these powers. And
she's 16.
I don't know if it, but that's the thing. Like, that's just such a cop out. I think, like, I don't know if there was, at least with the Sanderson sisters, they explained it as like this mother witch, you know, this one witch to rule them all, you know, gives them the book, and that's their sort of origin story. Whereas, like, you don't have this sort of history with Becca, Joe.
I think that's what they want to do in Hocus Pocus 3. My guess is they're going to give us some sort of who her mom is, what her lineage is, and something like that. I think they're setting it up, but yeah, we have nothing here. In this movie, from beginning to end, all we know is that she turned 16, and apparently that just means you're magic. Well, I'm 32, so I've turned 16 twice now. Where's my magic?
So
why am I not a warlock?
So that's funny. But in her mind, right, she's 16 now. Okay, she's turning into a woman. That's her big like push towards this magic, right? Obviously, lineage and like who you grew up with and who your family was plays a role, which we don't know, unknown. But she has been practicing witchy like stuff, as Mike would say from the movie, for 10 years, at least 10 years. Every year she's been doing that. Obviously, that has to play a role here. With her lineage, that's probably where it's coming from, which I'm okay with. I accept it.
But do we know?
No,
we don't know. Yeah, we have to.
For the last
on
32 years, have you been practicing witchy stuff?
Since 2001.
I'm talking about like
yes,
practicing,
sir.
not reading.
Boom.
Practicing.
What do you think practicing is?
Are you doing spells?
You don't. So instead of Joe saying a nightly prayer before he goes to bed, he casts a couple Harry Potter spells, like Wingardium Leviosa, you know, stuff
doing
like
Accio.
He's definitely over there doing a Dava Cadaver for sure.
No, that's
no, come on, that's bad. So I think this might also be a good spot to sort of talk about the CG. Because this is another issue with this movie. The CG is not good in a lot of areas. And I'm sort of frustrated by that, because I think the one thing that Hocus Pocus, the original, did was, obviously you didn't have that CG, like, you know, fleshed out as much as we have CG now, but the practical effects in the original looked so good. And I don't know how you use CG and make it worse than those practical effects. Like, I like, there were some instances where I was like, this just does not look good. You know, when the witches are flying in some instances, some of the spells like didn't seem like good CG to me. I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree with it, but that's one of the things that really drops this movie down for me, is because I wish they did use a lot more practical effects instead of all the CG.
For the two broomsticks or broomstick-like things we get in this movie, I feel like the flying was still better than Harry Potter. I just think that it's it's very similar to the first, in my opinion, for flying. Now, as for Billy's head, that's something that I can definitely argue with. Billy's head looked kind of really bad at times.
I think that was more practical than CG, though, wasn't it?
I don't know. I really
Hmm.
don't. Unknown.
Regardless, I think that it's most noticeable in the green screen stuff where the witches are just flying straight at you and you just see a green screen behind. Like, it just doesn't look good to me. And I understand that this might be, you know, quote unquote, a Disney Channel movie and not a huge budget, but like you could have done better than that. In my opinion.
Now, I
Joe,
did hear.
any credence to that?
I think they could have shot the scenes differently. I agree. I think the flying scenes were Harry Potter-esque. They were first film-esque. And to be fair, I think Harry Potter and Hocus Pocus, at least the first Harry Potter, kind of got it about the same. But we're talking a almost 20-year difference between when those movies came out, or what, 11, 12 years. In this one, they had enough time. They could have thought out how they wanted to shoot these scenes to provide like the right angles so it didn't look so bad. But when they have all three of them on screen, all flying, you can tell it's wire work. You can tell that they're just kind of hanging there, sitting on something, and I don't know. I knew what to expect from the beginning, though. Like I said, like when this movie started, I knew I was getting Disney Channel quality. I wasn't getting Hocus Pocus quality. I'm getting Disney Channel Hocus Pocus. And I think that set the tone early on, so I expected it. I guess I wasn't let down because I wasn't expecting it to be any better than what it was.
Justin, you were going to say something?
Like I lost it. I've just been listening to Joe, but
Full transparency.
I get it. It's a Disney Channel movie. That's what it's going to be. That's what you're expecting. So I can't really judge it based on, it's not as we would say a AAA experience here. We're not getting the best of the best 4K box office hit CG. We're getting.
But I'm judging it on the original, and the original with its practical effects and how they shot it looks better than some of these CG scenes to me. That's really the gripe that I have. Like, I don't need a Marvel Infinity War Endgame type CG here. I need it to look just as good as the practical effects did in 1993. And in some instances, I would 100% take the original Hocus Pocus scenes over this new one. So,
I like
regardless,
the spell work.
Yeah, that stuff is fine. Okay, we do have to move on though. Let's see here. The sisters partially cast the spell and increase their power. The two sisters, Sarah and Mary, actually get powers now. They're able to zap one another, including zapping their sister Winifred a couple times. But Becca distracts them while Izzy rescues Cassie. Becca manages to convince Book that it does not have to answer to Winifred, and Becca and Book flee further into the forest. Book does show them a warning about the Magicae Maxima spell, stating that whoever casts it must give up what they cherish most. And this is where Book solidifies herself as a character. I don't know what the book is.
Itself.
Itself. There you go. But it's truly one of the best characters in the movie.
Yeah,
I liked it. I like
Cool.
Book as a character.
Right, cool.
I like Book. I like Gilbert. I thought that they were more influential to the story than our leads at this point, minus the Sanderson sisters, but the new coven of witches. Like, we just don't have Izzy, whose name that's the first time we mentioned it. That she's a nobody friend. She just happens to be there the whole time. Cassie's more important to the story itself. Friend.
I don't know if she's a
Becca
nobody.
is,
She's got a mom who bakes a lot of cookies and throws parties for them.
Also,
a nobody.
Also, she is the one who gave the idea of maybe we should cast a spell. Maybe we should wave our hand like the witches. She is the one with the knowledge behind the action for a lot of these things that actually save their lives. So she is a crucial point of the coven.
I agree with Justin. I agree.
Man, she felt like a nobody to me.
I
So
don't know.
unimportant.
I think
That just
Cobweb
seemed to
is
me-
probably my favorite character. Cobweb.
Really? Binks too?
Yeah. I wish he would have talked.
That would have been fun. So going a little bit further, we'll speed it up here a little bit. The girls agree to warn Winifred of the price of the spell, but are too late. Winifred becomes all-powerful as Mary and Sarah fade to dust. Winifred grows despondent and begs the teenagers to use their newfound powers to save her sisters. While they cannot save the two, Becca, Cassie, and Izzy join together in a coven and cast a reuniting spell. And Winifred's all like, "Where are my sisters? Where are my sisters?" And then they say, "You are mistaking us here, Winifred. The sisters aren't coming back. You are leaving." And so Winifred fades away to be reunited with her sisters.
Yeah. This was an emotional scene here for sure. You definitely got the character development for Winifred herself as the leader that didn't care about anyone. She was the most powerful, turning a new leaf and showing that she's nothing without her coven and actually shedding tears about it, wanting to give up the power to bring her sisters back. Big character development for her.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
and
all
so
right.
just thought it was okay.
We know what happened with the witch mother now, though. I mean, I knew that from the beginning. That's what I suspected from the very beginning. When she said when she first told the young coven not to use Magicae Maxima, and then she's like, "Oh, my coven's not here anymore." Well, that's because she cast that spell and she lost him. I mean, and that's what I guessed from the beginning. So when this happened, I was like, "Oh, I know what's about to happen." Like I knew from the moment that she wanted to do it what was going to happen to Sarah and Mary, and then it came to fruition, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
You're
The
just
difference
too
was-
good then, Joe.
Yeah, Joe's got a Palantir or something he's looking into.
Yeah.
The difference
That's
was
another review
that
series.
Winifred actually cared that she lost her coven, whereas the other
Yeah.
one didn't.
That's
Witch
true.
mother, Raven, whatever she is.
But I agree with you, Justin, wholeheartedly. Like, this was a touching scene because ultimately there is no Hocus Pocus without the sisters, right? Like, without the group. And I think that Winifred sees that. Winifred knows that. And she doesn't want to lose her sisters. And so if joining them is what she has to do, she was perfectly willing to get her sisters back that way. So... all right, the girls are joined by Gilbert and Billy, while Billy starts to fade away, realizing that all of Winifred's spells have been undone and relieved to finally be headed to his eternal rest. The girls decide to give Book a new home and continue practicing their magic as they walk off into the night in the similar manner as the Sanderson sisters. As they leave, a bird identical to the one that Mother Witch had shapeshifted into flies overhead. So yeah, that's the end of the movie. So 2 questions for you here, Justin. I'll throw it your way first. We're going to get a Hocus Pocus 3. If you have
I don't know
not
how, but
watched,
yes.
Yes, but we will. If you have not watched the credits, you will see that the cat, what's the cat's name again?
Cobweb.
Cobweb goes and, finds other black candles. So Hocus Pocus 3 going to happen. Do you think the Sanderson sisters are done?
Yes, I do. I do think they're done. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be back. One telltale sign, unless they don't stay true to the story, is Billy disappeared, which means he said all of their spells are null and void, which include the Black Flame Candle spell from 1993. So, unfortunately, that end credit scene, after reviewing it and thinking about it, doesn't make any sense or a logical use, because the Black Flame Candle spell is gone as well. But yes, I'm okay with the new coven. Do it. Bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll see. If they see any uptick in subscriptions to have people watch Hocus Pocus, they're going to bring back the 3 Sanderson sisters in some way.
Somehow
they will. But yeah, I do think that if they do make a Hocus Pocus 3, it does need to focus on Becca, Cassie, and Izzy. And I think that they really need to fill in those gaps that I sorely missed with this movie. And I assume Joe as well, of like, how does Becca have her powers? How are these, you know, witches going to be witches, you know, basically.
And
So,
why should we care?
yeah, and why should we care?
Because that's where
Exactly.
I'm left with this movie is, okay, why do we care?
Well, did you care about Max in the original? Like, he didn't have any powers, right? But he was a character that was in the beginning of the film, and that's what these three are, except these three have witchy elements.
Witchy.
Yeah, but if they want to continue the story, they need a reason to. If they want to use this new coven, like to further Hocus Pocus, then make us care. Make it important that we care about who they are. Max, we care because he's the one who's going to stop the Sanderson sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, they introduced us to new characters so that we could like them and further their story, but they didn't do a good job of saying why should we care? Why are they important? Who are they? Why does it matter? We just have, we have Trask's lineage still exists, and then we have this girl who happens to be a witch because she turned 16.
And the second question I wanted to ask you, first was, are the Sanderson sisters going to be back? But the second one is, do you think Mother Witch is going to be a prominent villain, like in the third movie? Do you think she's going to be sort of the villain character? Joe, I see your head nodding. We'll go your way first.
Yes. Obviously, they want to focus on who she is. She performed Magic High Maximus. She is the most powerful witch. I think
Allegedly.
it will be I think that it will be
That's Joe's assumption, yeah.
It will be a thing where she's going to try and take Becca under her wing, and then, be a Palpatine.
Oh, ooh, whoa. We have Sith Lords up in here, Justin. Do you think Mother Witch is going to be the villain?
Palpatine-esque character.
I wish they would have added more scenes with Mother Witch. I think she should have been a more prominent role in this film. Even coming back to the sisters and discussing something with them at the time of them being revived. I think that was something that they missed out on. I really liked her character, and I thought she did a great job at it, as kind of an introduction to the first witch of this film, and also the end with her flying over their heads. I think that she'll definitely play a role. I don't think the Sanderson sisters will be back unless someone casts a different spell to bring them back, which could be Mother Witch. I don't know. But I liked it. I don't care. I thought it was okay. Let's get into our ratings. Let's just jump into it. I'll start us off.
Yeah,
okay, Mike.
go ahead.
I'm giving
That's
this
fine.
a low 4, high 3. Somewhere around that range. Definitely, I feel like it's...
So 4 is great on our scale, so you're calling it great.
Yeah, I'll give it a great. I think that it's a must-watch regardless to rating if you are a Hocus Pocus fan. Grab that subscription. Give it a shot. Watch it. Don't expect the best, but expect to be fan serviced out by the end of it. Because you definitely got a lot of that. And you'll enjoy it. Story is not something that's going to hold up to the original, but it's definitely something that'll keep you watching. So, yeah, 4.1.
Yeah, I mean,
4 is good.
I echo those sentiments. If you enjoyed Hocus Pocus, the original, then yeah, this is a must watch. But I don't know if it's a must watch as far as just movies in general. I'm going to give this a 2. It is okay in my book because I gave it a 3. I gave the original a 3, which is good. 2 okay on our scale. Now, that's not saying that it is a bad movie. I had a lot of fun watching it, but I just have those gripes that we already talked about with the CG, with the story a little bit. If there's one thing that it would bring to a 3 for me, it would be the Sanderson sisters. I thought that those 3 did such a great job, reprising their roles as Winifred, Sarah, and Mary. So, yeah, it is an okay movie. It borderline going to that good for me. So, Joe, I believe we're on the same page potentially. I don't know, but are you going bad or are you going okay?
I think that the Sandersons make it okay. Everything else about it, I'd give it a 1. But them being in it, I think it's okay. And I think that if you enjoy Hocus Pocus and their characters, watch this one. don't expect it to be good, but watch it and enjoy them reprising the roles. I think because of that, it's okay.
Cool.
All right. This is my chance here to enlighten the world about Billy Butcherson and speak true to his name. He was not a cheater. He shared one kiss with Winifred. He was with Sarah and happy with Sarah. Winifred was deranged or disheveled about it and called him a cheater. Ended up killing him. So, Billy, he's a good guy. Billy Butcherson.
Billy is a good guy.
Yeah.
Billy is a good guy. So thank you, Billy. Anyway, this has been our review of Hocus Pocus 2. Again, let us know down in the comments on the YouTube or in a podcast review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else that you want to leave us a review. Let us know what you thought of Hocus Pocus 2. It was a fun movie. We thought it was fun. So if you enjoyed, stop it.
We thought it was okay.
I thought it was great.
If you enjoy, can I?
Bye, everyone.
All right. If you enjoyed us, please leave us a review. Thank you for listening. This is Mike. That's Joe. That's Justin. Follow us at What the Fun Pod on all socials. Actually, no, just Twitter and Facebook. Yeah. And this has been a review of Hocus Pocus 2. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
You should have said, "This is the face of a child," but you didn't. Cut that. It's all good.